Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are. Do not adjust your TV sets. We have not lightened up Zam. It is me, Ginger Greek, standing in for Zam to do a review of Loki, and this is episode 4. And what an episode it was. Full disclosure, this is pure spoilers. You have been warned, so don't watch this video if you haven't already watched Loki episode 4. Right off the bat, I will say it was a very good episode, probably the best one yet. It finished with a lot of unanswered questions. It opened up another Pandora's box of stuff that was great, to be honest, because it was starting to kind of dip a little bit. You just start thinking, oh God, whatever, where's this going? Why are we just running? Let's see more time stuff. And this one definitely delivered. This was a very good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We started off with a very young Sylvie, about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years old, basically being taken by Ravonna, who at the time was a time hunter. She gets taken away from Asgard, which we get a nice little throwback to. She gets accused of breaking the timeline and taken, but she manages to escape. So we get that little flashback, and then when Owen and Ravonna are talking, he asks about what happened to the guard that was enchanted by Sylvie, and Ravonna reveals obviously she's dead, and she says basically her mind just melted away, became rambly, and just she could speak by the end of it. So they offed her. Then we obviously have Loki and the two Lokis on the planet that's about to be crushed, and they touch, and it creates some kind of nexus in the timeline, and they're able to be spotted and saved at the last minute from being destroyed at the planet, because you know they're not just gonna die on that planet. You know that sense of danger, it just isn't there. Then obviously Loki tells the other hunter, B15 or F15 or whatever her name was, that she too, that the other huntress that was enchanted was killed. And then cut to the Loki's being taken, and the original Loki, the male Loki, is thrown into a time loop. And here we get a nice little cameo from Sif. If you don't know who Sif was, she was in the first two Thor films. Great character in the comics, a kind of spurned love interest of Thor, but a great warrior and all of that. And she was played by, I think it was Jamie Alexander, the name of the actress that plays her. And just to cut it, because we don't want to drag on too much, from here on in, you just basically get the two Lokis kind of poking away at Mobius and one of the huntresses to tell them, basically the TVA is not what it sounds like, and they get told they are variants. They are not just created by the TVA. They were plucked from their timeline for being deviants or the variants. And eventually, they've come to the realization. They're like, oh crap, what's going on here? Then what the huntress that takes Sylvie, they jump to a pre-apocalypse timeline, and Sylvie reveals to one of the huntresses, who is, let me get it right, Hunter B15, that she is indeed a variant. And of course this blows her mind. Anyway, to cut it down, so obviously you get your back and forths. Mobius kind of comes to the realization of, holy crap, the TVA really isn't what it's supposed to be. They killed off the originally enchanted hunter, and the other ones come to the realization, and before you know it, both of the Lokis have been taken to the Timekeepers, which really isn't a good idea. Because you just never know what's going to happen, so it's not really worth the risk. But anyway, they brought before, and we get to see the Timekeepers in full and barely understand what the hell they're saying to them, just like have such a mumbly speech that they make Bane more coherent. Anyway, they have a chit chat. Before they're about to be erased, of course, the hunter that realizes she's a variant comes in and kind of saves the day, frees the Lokis, a big fight ensues. One of the timekeepers gets their head chopped off, and before that, Mobius got erased. I forgot to say that's actually quite a big moment. 'Cause it's like, oh, holy crap! They really took out. Oh wow! They took out Owen Wilson, and then skip timekeepers fight. One of the timekeepers get decapitated, but of course, because this is Disney, you know it's not going to be of flesh and bone, and it's revealed that the timekeepers are just robots, androids, whatever you want to call them. And then we see Loki get erased, stabbed by Ravonna, and then Sylvia kind of drags floors her, but instead of killing Ravonna, she basically said, you're gonna answer all me questions, mate. And that's it, and that's pretty much the episode. However, we then get a mid-credit scene, because of course nothing is ever as it seems, and it's revealed Loki is alive, but somewhere else where other variants of Loki exist. And we got to see, I'm not familiar with the Black Loki, but we've got to see Kid Loki, Pet Loki, Crocodile Loki, and we've got to see the original Loki, who's played by Richard E. Grant. So this is fascinating. So instead of getting erased, what happens? Do they just get thrown into some kind of weird limbo with other variants? This is very interesting, and it actually, I'm kind of glad this happened, because it makes the show, this is what kind of made the show a lot more interesting than what it was, because it was kind of tapering off into the kind of usual crap where we won't get what we think we're going to get, and then it gives us a lot more. Now, bear in mind, I'm an individual that just avoids all spoilers. Not even spoilers and speculations and all of that. So watching this revealed, for me, was fantastic. And I'm really now looking forward to next week's episode. I really can't wait. So yeah, this was definitely the best of the bunch for me in terms of moving everything forward. You don't feel now that it's just going to stagnate into this kind of constantly on the run thing. Things are moving nicely. So then we're going to have to see what happens to Mobius then, because clearly he's not dead, and that other huntress that was killed, she's not dead. So let's see what happens. But yeah, very good episode overall. That's it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the episodes, and that is all. Bye.